Ancient crossroads, setting the stage. Lebanon and Israel, two small nations on the eastern shores of the Mediterranean Sea. Their destinies are intertwined. They share a history filled with conflict and complexity. Lebanon, a land of mountains and coastline, has been a cultural crossroads for millennia. Phoenician traders sailed from its ports. Their alphabet influenced Western writing. The country later became part of the Ottoman Empire. It gained independence in 1943. Israel, a land steeped in ancient history, is considered the birthplace of Judaism and Christianity. It became a Roman province and remained under foreign rule for centuries. The Zionist movement, advocating for a Jewish homeland, emerged in the late 19th century. Israel declared independence in 1948. These two nations, with their rich histories and cultural significance, would find themselves locked in a cycle of conflict and mistrust. Their story is one of missed opportunities, political turmoil, and the human cost of enduring hostility. Colonial shadows and the birth of nations. The early 20th century brought significant changes to the Middle East. The Ottoman Empire, weakened by World War I, collapsed. The seeds of future conflict were sown during this period. France gained control of Lebanon and Syria. Britain took control of Palestine, including the territory that would become Israel. The Balfour Declaration of 1917, a British document, supported the establishment of a Jewish homeland in Palestine. This declaration ignited tensions between the existing Arab population and the growing Jewish community. The influx of Jewish immigrants to Palestine increased after World War II, particularly after the horrors of the Holocaust. Tensions escalated into violence. In 1947, the United Nations voted to partition Palestine into two states, one Jewish and one Arab. This partition plan was accepted by Jewish leaders but rejected by Arab leaders. The stage was set for a conflict that would have far-reaching consequences. 1948, a line drawn in the sand. In 1948, Israel declared independence. This declaration triggered the first Arab-Israeli war. Neighboring Arab states, including Lebanon, went to war with the newly formed state. Lebanon played a relatively limited role in the fighting. However, the war had a profound impact on the country. Lebanon absorbed a wave of Palestinian refugees fleeing the conflict. This influx would have significant demographic and political implications for Lebanon. The 1948 war ended with Israel's victory. It also resulted in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. The war solidified the existence of Israel but sowed the seeds of future conflict. It also marked the beginning of a complex and often strained relationship between Lebanon and Israel. The war's legacy would continue to shape the region for decades to come. The unresolved Palestinian refugee issue, the ongoing territorial disputes, and the cycle of violence became deeply entrenched. Internal strife, Lebanon's civil war. Lebanon, a country with a diverse population of Muslims and Christians, struggled with internal divisions. These divisions were exacerbated by external pressures. The influx of Palestinian refugees after the 1948 war further strained Lebanon's fragile social fabric. In 1975, Lebanon descended into a brutal civil war. This conflict, lasting for 15 years, pitted various factions against each other. Palestinians, caught in the crossfire, often found themselves allied with Lebanese groups. Israel, concerned about the growing presence of Palestinian militant groups in Lebanon, launched an invasion in 1982. This invasion aimed to drive these groups away from its northern border. The civil war had a devastating impact on Lebanon. It left the country physically and economically shattered. The war also deepened sectarian divisions. It further entangled Lebanon in the complex web of Middle Eastern conflicts. Section 5. Proxy wars and shifting sands. The Lebanese civil war became a proxy war. Different regional and international powers supported various factions. Syria, seeking to expand its influence, intervened militarily. Israel, focused on countering Palestinian groups, became deeply involved in the conflict. Iran, in the aftermath of the 1979 Islamic Revolution, emerged as a key player. It provided support to Hezbollah, a Shia Islamist group that emerged during the Lebanese Civil War. Hezbollah aimed to resist Israeli occupation in southern Lebanon. The conflict in Lebanon became a microcosm of the broader regional power struggle. The war's end in 1990 did little to resolve these underlying tensions. It left behind a weakened state grappling with the scars of conflict and the presence of armed groups. The war's aftermath saw Israel maintain control over a security zone in southern Lebanon. This occupation continued to fuel resentment and resistance, particularly from Hezbollah. The stage was set for further confrontations between Israel and Hezbollah. Section 6. Hezbollah, a new player on the board. Hezbollah, meaning Party of God in Arabic, emerged as a powerful force in Lebanon after the civil war. It is both a political party and a militant group. It is supported by Iran and opposed to Israel's existence. Hezbollah's ideology is a blend of Shia Islam and revolutionary politics. It gained popularity through its social services and resistance against Israeli occupation. It became a major player in Lebanese politics. Israel's withdrawal from southern Lebanon in 2000 was seen as a victory for Hezbollah. However, tensions remained high. Both sides continued to build up their military capabilities. This arms race set the stage for another round of conflict. Hezbollah's rise as a non-state actor with significant military capabilities added a new layer of complexity to the already volatile situation. It highlighted the shifting dynamics of power and conflict in the region. This evolution would have significant implications for future confrontations. Section 7. A fragile peace shattered. The 2006 Lebanon War. In 2006, a cross-border raid by Hezbollah on an Israeli patrol sparked a month-long war. This conflict, known as the 2006 Lebanon War or the July War, had devastating consequences for both sides. Hezbollah launched thousands of rockets into northern Israel, causing widespread fear and displacement. Israel responded with a massive air campaign and ground offensive, targeting Hezbollah infrastructure and positions. The war resulted in significant civilian casualties on both sides. It also caused widespread destruction in Lebanon. The conflict ended with a UN-brokered ceasefire, but it did little to address the underlying issues. The 2006 war highlighted the volatile nature of the Israeli-Hezbollah conflict. It also demonstrated the devastating human cost of this enduring hostility. The war's aftermath saw both sides rebuild their military capabilities, further solidifying the stalemate. Section 8. Echoes of conflict cross-border tensions. Since the 2006 war, a tense calm has prevailed along the Lebanon-Israel border. However, this calm is punctuated by occasional flare-ups and cross-border incidents. Both sides remain wary of each other. Israel expresses concerns over Hezbollah's growing arsenal, particularly its acquisition of precision-guided missiles. It views Hezbollah as a significant threat to its security. Israel conducts occasional airstrikes in Syria, targeting alleged arms shipments to Hezbollah. Hezbollah, for its part, vows to respond to any Israeli aggression. It continues to strengthen its military capabilities. It also plays a significant role in the Syrian civil war, supporting the Syrian government. This ongoing tension underscores the fragile nature of the peace. It highlights the lack of trust and the potential for miscalculation that could ignite another conflict. Section 9. International entanglements, a global stage. The Lebanese-Israeli conflict is not confined to the regional stage. It has become intertwined with global politics and international relations. Various international actors play a role in mediating, containing, or exacerbating the conflict. The United Nations plays a crucial role in monitoring the ceasefire along the Lebanon-Israel border. UN peacekeepers deployed in southern Lebanon work to prevent escalation and maintain stability. The United States, a close ally of Israel, provides military and financial aid. It also exerts diplomatic pressure on Hezbollah and its backers. However, its influence in the region has waned in recent years. The involvement of these international actors highlights the complex geopolitical dynamics at play. It also underscores the challenges of finding a lasting solution to the conflict. Section 10. Walls of silence, the absence of dialogue. One of the most striking aspects of the Lebanese-Israeli conflict is the absence of direct dialogue. The two countries do not have formal diplomatic relations. They view each other with deep mistrust. The lack of communication channels makes it difficult to address misunderstandings, build confidence, or resolve disputes peacefully. It also increases the risk of miscalculation and escalation. Efforts to facilitate dialogue have been met with resistance. Both sides remain entrenched in their positions. This absence of dialogue perpetuates a vicious cycle of suspicion, hostility, and conflict. Without open and honest communication, it is challenging to envision a future where these two nations can coexist peacefully. The walls of silence must be broken down for meaningful progress to occur. Section 11. A future uncertain, hope and uncertainty. The future of Lebanon-Israel relations remains uncertain. The two countries are locked in a state of neither war nor peace. The potential for conflict remains high. There are glimmers of hope. Some civil society organizations are working to build bridges between the two societies. They promote dialogue, understanding, and reconciliation. However, these efforts face significant obstacles. The political climate remains unfavorable to rapprochement. The legacy of past conflicts continues to cast a long shadow. The path towards a peaceful future will require courageous leadership, a willingness to compromise, and a commitment to dialogue. Until then, the fate of these two nations remains intertwined in a complex and often tragic dance of conflict and mistrust.